Okay, so this is Zach's bumper balls game, right? So, okay, so you went and snagged some code from this website at the outset to do screens, right? That's what you were just saying? Okay, so let's check it out. So we have an array of whatever a ball is, and we have a ball type over here that has, looks like a bunch of stuff, right? It's got a bunch of variables, it's got a move, it's got a collide, it's got a display. Oh, you didn't build a constructor, Zach. Come on, dude. Come on, man. You need a constructor. Okay, anyway, so we have a couple members of the ball class, put in an array. We have a bumper class, which... Thank you for the comments, Zach. These are actually really decent.
I actually just finished writing them out. So.
Cool. And this is really, like, I don't need much in the way of comments. Just something to help, like, figure out what the heck you're trying to do. Then you have image variables. Then you have... Okay, so you've commented to me that 0 is the start screen, 1 is the game screen, and 2 is the game over screen. Okay. And then you have an integer game screen that you're keeping track of. And a score, and then in your setup you're doing blah 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 drawing stuff. Okay, and then you're making new balls. And I'm really surprised that it's letting you get away with this, because this method doesn't actually exist. Right, there's no ball constructor, and so for some reason it's still letting a ball be created. I'm a little bit baffled by, but whatever. It's good to know. Apparently you don't need those. And then we have a new bumper, and I'm assuming the bumper also doesn't have a constructor. It also doesn't. I'm going to mark you off for that. Go put the constructors on. So in my view, the initializing of variables should be done in the constructor. So these should be just declarations, no initializers, and then the initializers should be done in the constructor. That is probably really nitpicky, but I like that method. Then we have some images. Okay, cool. We have a frame rate, whatevs. We got some text stuff. Cool, cool. Okay, then our draw method has... Oh, nice. This is good implementation. So in the draw method, all we have is if the game screen's 0, then we're drawing the initial screen, and if the game screen's 1, we're drawing the game screen, and if the game screen's 2, then we're drawing the game over screen. Cool. You could do this with a switch, right? So if you wanted to implement this with a switch, you'd want to switch on, what's the variable we're switching on?
Game screen.
Okay. So we're switching on the game screen variable, right? And then we need some curly braces, and we have case 0 does the initial screen, and then we break, and then we have case 1, and that's supposed to be back out. And in case 1, we do the game screen, and then we break. And then in case 2, we do the game over screen, and then we break. And then we do a Control T to make everything look all slick, and then I comment out Zach's little business, and this should work exactly the same as what he had. You guys with me? So the switch just lets you avoid some of this like nested else ifing that gets kind of wild. And then in here we've got mouse pressed. Okay, and again we could do some switching here, but this is also fine, like no big deal. If we're on the game screen 0, we're going to start the game. If we're on the game screen 2, we're going to reset to the beginning. And then we have... Why did you do those different ways? You guys see this? So what happens right here? If the game screen's 0 and you press the mouse, then it calls the start game method. And the start game method sets the game screen to 1, and that's all it does.
Nice.
And then this other one, if game screen's 2, it resets to game screen 0. Really, in order to improve this code, I'm just going to make it consistent. So I'm going to make a restart game method, which, hang on, I need to, which is going to be the exact same thing as this one, except it's called restart game and sets this to 0 instead of 1. Okay, now it's consistent. That was probably the dumb way to make it consistent, but whatevs. Okay, and then, oh yeah, I made this horrible method that I gave you.
You like to comment on the topic?
Yeah, that was very nice of you. So this is a thing I would like you to do. If you're stealing code from somewhere, I don't really care. Like, the mark of a good programmer is the one who doesn't write code that already exists. Right? So if there's good code for something, feel free to copy and paste that stuff. Try to understand what it does, because if you don't understand what it does, you won't be able to debug it when something messes up. And 2, in the comment, write where you got it, because at the very least, that'll clue me in that you're not, like, actively cheating. The other thing is it'll remind you where the heck you got it. So if there's a problem with it, you might be able to go back there and read it. So I will very often put a URL for where I got something in here. Is cool with that? Or at least like where I drew inspiration from. Because sometimes I'll want to go back there and be like, whoa, what is going on here? Why did that work before? Okay. And then, yeah, let's try. So I changed a couple things. Let's hope it works. Dang balls. Okay, so I click to start and A and D move. Oh god, it's so slow! Oh, but then it accelerates. Oh no.
Oh, that's the hardest thing ever.
Oh god, this game is horrible. It's so hard.
Why are there 2 of them? 4 in a row. It's not a single bounce. Oh yeah, people have already tried that. It fails most of the time.
Is there a speed limit, Zach?
No.
No!
Doesn't help you.
But I got to 7. Well, it helps me. I did better. So hang on. Where's your score reset? You guys see the score was resetting every time I died? So someplace in here, he was resetting the score. So where the heck was that happening?
It wasn't resetting the speed.
Oh, so when the game screen is 0, we're doing the initial screen, the game screen, and the game over screen. So, oh, and you named it something else.
Yes.
You're such a goober. Don't do that. And then, hilariously, here's another method that basically doesn't do anything. Right? Like the knit screen method, all it has is display an image in it. Why couldn't we have just put that here? Like, right here. It could have just said image.
It was the first time I used it.
I know. It's really good.
Oh, wow.
And then in the game screen, where's my...
Also doesn't reset the score, it just rolls over the score.
No, it resets the score when you get to the game over screen.
Okay.
So it was gonna have reset somewhere, right? I just wanted to know where it was. So Zach chose to reset it in the game over screen so that the game over screen has 2 lines in it and not 1, which I am supportive of. If you were going to make a method for something, it should have 2 lines in it. Otherwise, just write the line. Really, maybe 3 lines would be, whatever.
So
What
if
is
it
easier?
goes, if
Yeah.
100 lines, you should split it up into 50 methods. And then have 25 methods of all those 50 methods.
Yeah, so if you want to be a horrible person, what you do is you take 100 lines of code and you bury them in 100 different methods, and then you write 50 methods to call the 100 methods, and then you write 25 methods to call the first 50, and you name them all things like A14. Right, so that would be... Never
You
mind.
can't go in order. You can't, after A15,
Yes.
it can't be A15. It has to be Z76.
Yeah, okay, so please don't do that stuff. Try not to bury too deeply. But this is a very reasonable piece of code to understand. I think I'm pretty much with what's going on here. So on the game screen, we loop through the balls, we move them, we update them, we check them for collision, and then the bumper gets moved and displayed, and then the score gets drawn out. That seems like the stuff you need to play the game. Yeah, I like it. It's really readable. It's super nice. It's actually better than mine. Good work.